Just in time for spring, we've got tips to declutter your world. So if you wanted to take the plunge, we've got experts to help with the purge. Our centerpiece story is closet cleanup. Out of sight from visitors, the closet is a perfect hideout for pack rats. A local stylist tells us what should stay, what should go, and what every closet should have this spring.
If you have not worn it in the past 3 months, 6 months, get rid of it. If you buy something new, get rid of something old.
Then, ready and willing to get your hands dirty, the DIY craze comes to housekeeping. Some easy ideas for a no-chem clean. And if paperwork is your Achilles heel, a professional organizer can whip your record keeping in shape. She's here with a few simple tips. We'll have those stories along with our Positively Healthy Medical series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Tackling a closet is some people's idea of fun. Not mine maybe, but there's an art to deciding what to keep and what to toss. With spring upon us, we thought we'd check in with an expert stylist to help us make over our closets and wardrobe. Where I see order, stylist Barbara King sees room for improvement.
I still feel there's so much more to do here.
She rifles through a rack with purpose.
Whenever I'm going through my clients' closets, I'm always going from left and right because a lot of times most of the things that are in the back, they're hardly ever wearing.
A key part of making sense in a closet is to categorize your clothing, putting everything in a designated spot. So we don't do what I do and we just put everything we like right where we're going to see it?
Right. You want to have it categorized because every day when you get dressed, for the most part, you're thinking, okay, do I want to wear pants or do I want to wear dresses today? So that way it's all categorized for you.
As you put your things in order, size each one up to see if it's worth the space.
I would say toss this.
Why?
Because it looks outdated, even though it's still springy. I can always tell how much somebody's worn something by the tag.
Weeding out those well-worn items, Barbara says ask yourself a few simple questions.
When have you worn it last? How do you feel in it? Is it still in shape? Does the color look good on you?
Don't hang on to things for the wrong reason. If it holds memories, keep a picture of when you wore it, then say goodbye. And don't let price be a hang-up.
People always get attached to things because they spent too much money on it. And they're like, I can't let this go. But it doesn't look right for them.
As you sift through your closet, put everything in piles. Clothes you want to pack up, give to a friend, or take to consignment. Whatever's left, don't toss, donate.
Because they may find purpose where you don't find purpose.
Another tip to restoring order, streamline. Sleeve length, dress length, and so on. If your closet looks tidy, you're more likely to keep it that way.
And you want to have all the same hangers. That's really important because then things will line up easily.
To keep from getting overwhelmed, slip into a new mindset.
If you buy something new, get rid of something old out of your closet. I know no one does it.
The reward is making room for new spring trends. What do we need for spring, every wardrobe?
Okay, so what they're showing for spring, which is really, really cool, is these cutout jeans. These are not going anywhere. They've been shown a couple seasons now, but these are a lighter color.
Also on the hot list are stripes and a warm weather fave.
You always need to add in a new white lacy dress. I love this. This is all from Tickle Pink in Naples on 3rd.
Off the shoulder and cold shoulder tops are still on point.
And this looks great with white jeans. Yay! I love this look. I love it. I love it.
Take it from a wardrobe expert, it's much easier to fill a closet.
People are scared to see empty space in a closet. They're just, they gotta fill it. They gotta fill it with something.
Some people are more than happy to get their hands dirty, making their own cleaning products. Yep, do-it-yourselfers are turning common supplies into no-chem cleaners. It might be tempting to drench your dirty cleaning projects with bleach or harsh detergents, but a growing number of people are going green. Naples Botanical Gardens is just one venue providing a platform to show people how to make natural cleansers.
And we just really wanted to focus on transitioning out of those products that we use a lot that we might not even think about and into some natural alternatives that are both safe but also effective.
Emily Maya and Brianna Marino team up on workshops, ditching toxic chemicals in favor of DIY concoctions.
When it goes down the drain or when it goes into the trash can at the end of the day or whatever, I know that it's not going to have a harsh effect on the world and the planet that we live on.
On the world or on your family, do-it-yourselfers swear you can get the same results with no-chem cleaning. The star players are probably in your own cupboard. Baking soda cleans, deodorizes, and brightens. Vinegar is super effective at combating grease, grime, and soap scum. It also shines up glass surfaces. Lemon is another cleaning wizard, cutting grease and freshening a room. Olive oil does wonders polishing and restoring luster. And borax, which is a mix of boron and salt, is a non-toxic alternative to cleanser. Most of these products can be used in combination. For example, you can mix borax, washing soda, salt, lemon, and water to use as dishwasher detergent. Other combos clean toilets, showers, tubs, countertops, microwaves, floors, windows, and more. If you're really motivated, you can whip up all natural cleansers for your body too.
I think it's really important to kind of take charge of your home care and body care. I like to think that I'm an active participant in my life, and I don't just want to buy these different products that on the back of the label, if you ingest, it could be lethal.
Making natural products, it's a fresh way to look at cleaning. The start of April signals the mad rush that is tax time, and the process goes much smoother if your record keeping isn't a hot mess. That's where Marla Ottenstein comes in. As a professional organizer, she has tips to keep your paperwork and life in order.
I don't know about you, but I'm always trying to stay one step ahead of myself, which in my world is sort of funny because I'm a professional organizer, and you would expect that I am organized every minute of the day. But I do have a little spontaneity in my life. So I'm here today to share with you 5 hints that will help you stay organized year-round. The first hint has to do with being prepared for tax time and how you can do that year-round. What you're going to do is you want to keep it simple, okay? Taxes file, medical file, donation file. That's pretty simple. Whenever you get a piece of paper in the mail, or an email and you don't know what to do with it, it goes in one of 3 files. When April comes around, it's easy to do your paperwork. The second thing is I want you to be informed. Run a free credit report and clean up any outlying issues as soon as possible. I had a client that we ran a credit report for her, and she discovered that her husband had 65 credit cards in his name. Unfortunately, he had passed away, but even more unfortunate was that the client and I had to make several telephone calls, 65 to be exact, to clean up the account. The third thing is to be proactive. Carefully review all of your accounts and your coverages, your insurance, your utilities, your credit cards, bank statements. Make sure that what you're paying for is actually what you are getting. The fourth thing is be prepared. Copy everything in your wallet. If you get a new credit card, copy the new credit card and make sure not to carry your Social Security number in your wallet. Just leave that Social Security card at home. The fifth item is be safe. Create an in case of emergency card, also known as an ICE card. You can go on the internet, you can get a template for it. Essentially, it's your name, your address, if you have any medical issues, any allergies, your lawyer's name, and 1, 2, or 3 contact names and current telephone numbers. So just to confirm, year-round organization tips, 5. 1, keep it simple. Paperwork, keep it simple. When tax time comes around, it won't be so hard. Number 2, be informed. run a credit report. Number 3, be proactive, review your accounts and coverages. Number 4, be prepared. And number 5, be safe.
When we come back, a vaccine you might want to add to your to-do list. Our Positively Healthy series is up after the break.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days, because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida. And now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now 2 locations to serve you.
1 out of 3 people can attest that shingles is an extremely painful experience. A viral infection caused by the same culprit responsible for chickenpox. Doctors stress a simple action can reduce your risk. Here's the latest in our Positively Healthy report. There's no mistaking the telltale rash. Almost a third of adults will experience at least one outbreak.
They usually start out with like small little red bumps that kind of develop into what we call vesicles, kind of fluid-filled lesions on the skin. Anywhere from 7 to 10 days, usually they start to crust over, and the total duration of the rash is usually 2 to 4 weeks.
The blistering rash is also painful, says Dr. James Maciejewski, an internist with Physicians Regional Medical Group.
A lot of people notice they get burning pain on one side of the body.
That burning sensation may stick around long after the rash subsides. About 10% of patients develop a lingering complication lasting months to years.
What they call postherpetic neuralgia, which is kind of a chronic form of nerve pain from the virus reactivating.
The risk of shingles and PHN increases with age. Many years after being exposed to the virus which causes chickenpox, it may reappear as shingles, about 50% of cases occurring in people over 60, making it a fairly common condition in Southwest Florida.
You know, we deal with an elderly population, and as you get older, your risk does go up as your immunity kind of wanes.
Your best shot at preventing shingles is a one-time vaccine.
It will reduce your chance of getting the shingles by about 50%. It will reduce your chance of getting postherpetic neuralgia by about 67%, or 2/3.
Lowering the odds of reawakening a virus has been dormant for decades. It's a healthy proposition.
It is probably worthwhile preventing the risk for postherpetic neuralgia, and that's exactly why we usually do encourage, getting everyone immunized when they get above age 60.
Time to hit up the newsroom and check in with our reporters to see what's happening on the beat. Guys?
Thanks, Amy. I'm Shelby Reynolds. I'm a features reporter here at the Naples Daily News, and I worked on a story about a couple of cousins here in Naples who created a video game, and you can find it on the Apple App Store, and they're working on the Android version right now. It's called Super Plexus, and it's very much inspired by the video games they used to play as kids on Super Nintendo, so games like Tetris Attack and Zelda. And when you play the game, you can very much see that. It has the chip-style music, retro graphics, and it's a puzzle game just like you might play on your iPhone now. So you can find that story printed Friday in Naples Daily News, and it's online at naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm a reporter with the Collier Citizen. This past week I got to speak to Michael Berry, a Naples man who is looking to build a home and school in Ghana for children who are orphans and HIV positive. He was inspired to build a home and school after his wife passed away in 2012. And she was a missionary and she would go to different countries and help out there. So he was inspired to build that home and school for kids when he went on his first mission trip to Ghana in 2010. For more on this story, visit naplesnews.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Statz. I'm the environment reporter for the Naples Daily News. I wanted to tell you about a story that I've been working on with photographer Nicole Rawheisen, following the Conservancy of Southwest Florida and their Python team on some fantastic work that they're doing in rural Collier County, rooting out the python problem in Southwest Florida. They are doing some terrific science and doing a lot of hard work, capturing pythons and bringing them out of the breeding cycle so that this threat to the native animals in Collier County is eliminated. Read all about it in today's paper and at naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Greg Stanley and I cover Collier County for the Naples Daily News. And this week we're going to be digging into efforts to turn Immokalee into a city. It's been being pushed mostly by the Immokalee Chamber of Commerce. It flares up every few years that we've noticed where community leaders in Immokalee really push to incorporate the city, mostly because they feel ignored or forgotten by Collier County and Collier County government. Lately, they've been looking into the numbers, the hard numbers on what it would take to happen, and they're going to face a huge hurdle. The last village to incorporate around here was Estero. When they did, they had about $6 billion in property values. Immokalee has about $340 million, so just a fraction of it. So to make a city work, they would have to drastically raise taxes, and usually even slight tax raises kill any efforts to incorporate an unincorporated city. So we're going to be looking into these efforts, what it would take to move forward, or if they're dead in the water. Find out more on naplesnews.com.
Cleaning up is our own Brent Batten here with our weekly commentary.
Thanks, Amy. At the Naples-Fort Myers Greyhound track, you can place a box bet that covers all the permutations of the numbers in a box. For instance, an exacta box with 2 numbers has 2 permutations, A first and B second, or B first and A second. A trifecta box has 6 possible permutations. A trifecta box with 5 numbers has 60 possible permutations. Then there's the key bet, which involves making multiple wagers with a single dog in one race, bet in all positions with all the possible combinations of other selected dogs in a single race. And a wheel bet, consisting of betting all dogs in one race and a bet involving 2 or more races. For example, a 1 all daily double wheel bet bets the 1 dog in the first race with every dog in the second. Confusing? Of course it is, but it's still clearer than the status of gaming in the state and perhaps the future of the dog track itself as the Florida legislature reaches the halfway point of its annual session. On Wednesday, the House was set to vote on its version of gaming legislation. The Senate has already approved its own bill, one separated from the House version by several lengths. And coming up strong on the outside is the Florida Supreme Court, which still hasn't ruled on a pivotal case it heard in June, the results of which could bump the entire issue off track. Dog tracks want slot machines. The Seminoles don't want them to have them. Trying to strike a balance is the challenge. The compromise will likely make no one happy. This is the second year in a row legislators have tried to find an answer. Some legislators say they are against any expansion of gambling in Florida, which is funny because the state lottery is always coming up with new games and consistently offers the worst odds and worst payouts of any game going. People like gambling. For proof, look no further than the popularity of fantasy football and NCAA tournament pools. So whatever the legislature comes up with, people are going to find a way to lose their money. At least the state ought to be able to figure out a way to get a piece of the action. But my bet is that odds are, a year from now, the picture will still be as confusing as a box trifecta wheel bet, and the taxpayers' interest will still be bringing up the rear. I'm Brent Batten. Thanks for watching.
Coming up, it's important to get the right fit when you're selecting home furnishings. In this week's Inspired Living, we have tips for managing size and scale. That's ahead on Behind the Headlines.
It's Bear's half-off select brand sale. We're slashing prices. Save big on the best of the best brand names like Bernhardt, Paula Deen, Broyhill, Hooker, plus more. Save half off on the Tootsie 100% all genuine leather sofas. This dining table from Bernhardt, half off, just $9.97. $50 million of furniture and accessories ready for immediate delivery. Bear's half-off select brand sale. Don't miss it.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full-service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
Before you invest in furniture, you need to size up your home. We've all seen beautiful furnishings that seem lost in a room, or a space that's too crowded to feel comfortable. Both signs of a bad fit. In this week's Inspired Living, Kathy Smith joins me with tips on how to scale and style your design plan. Kathy, when we talk about scale and proportion, it sounds like one of those things that could go very wrong. People pick out stuff they like, they get it in a room, and it just doesn't look right.
It's probably one of the biggest and hardest things to do in design is scale and proportion. Many, many mistakes are made for that. And even though you can take your measurements, it's the relationship from one item or to another. And if the bigger you go, the bigger everything else has to go. The smaller you go, you have to shrink everything else down. So it's important to keep that in mind. As we see this bed, it's a very beefy bed. If you would,
yeah, it's got some heft to it.
It's got some heft to it, has some weight to it. So when you go to put accessories, and even with the bedding, you can't put a very dainty set of bedding on this bed because it would just look silly. So what you want to do is make sure that you have some bedding that has some weight to it. And also your accessories, if your nightstands are very large, you want your lamps have to be large too. And if you look, there's a smaller lamp on one side and a larger lamp on the other.
You can see the example of this one looks too small for it. It's got not a lot of girth to it.
Yep, and that's to the eye, it doesn't look right. So it's very jarring to the eye.
And now you also said that under this kind of design concept or principle, we had shape.
Yes. If you see some of these pieces here have some shape, and this also goes to the movement. You'll have a bow front chest like that. And then if you look over there, you've got more shape over there because that bows, all the pieces bow. What you want to do is mix up your shapes. You don't want to keep everything the same.
Sure.
You know, soften it up, soften up the hard edges, and then it flows better.
Finally, we've covered closets and paperwork. Now we're talking tech. Experts say while you're decluttering, you should give your digital devices a cleanse too. Here's Angelique Cockade.
Cleansing the tech in your life is definitely a big part of spring cleaning. Have you looked at your cell phone bill? If only Snapchat could log your hours. And while actually taking a microfiber cloth to your computer and a Q-tip to those earbuds are essential, there's a lot more to tech cleansing than meets the LCD screen. Start with your drives. All those files you're saving to your desktop, organize them by name, list, or whatever makes sense to you. But do create folders and drag and drop. And if you haven't opened it in 5 years, delete it. And don't forget to empty trash. Bonus, your device will run so much more efficiently with all that extra space. We promise you, your resume from 2012 isn't useful. Pictures are probably the hardest files to organize, but once you do, make sure to back them up. Upgrade your iCloud account or invest in a good external drive. It's worth the money and beats the pit-sinking feeling of losing all your data with one innocent trip to the Genius Bar. And while you're at it, put some spring tunes on and go through your inbox. Delete newsletters newsletter-type emails first and create color tabs for at least one type of category, like job applications or recipes.
That's a tidy wrap for this edition of Behind the Headlines. Thank you for making us part of your day. You can always reach out to me via my Facebook page, Amy Osher Reporter, or catch up on past shows by logging to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side, under Quick Links, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.